Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that sinks a ton of businesses, becoming a commodity. We're going to break down how you can escape that trap, stop blending in, and really start to stand out. All right, let's just get right to it with what is probably the most critical question any business leader can ask themselves. And I mean it. Really think about your own company right now. Are you one of many, or are you truly one of a kind? Because, how you answer that, well, it pretty much determines your company's entire future. And here's exactly why that question is so important. This quote from a strategy consultant, Manoj, just says it all. It cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? Because when your customers see you as just another interchangeable option, the only thing you can compete on is price. And that is a brutal, soul-crushing race to the bottom that just torches your profits, loyalty, and everything else. So the big question is, how do you escape that trap? Well, the answer is strategy. But I know, that word gets tossed around so much it's almost meaningless. We're not talking about some fluffy mission statement here. We're talking about real strategy, the kind that gives you a genuine winning edge. So here's what it actually is. Think of it like a framework, a set of interconnected choices that all have to work together. It's about getting super clear and making a commitment. Who specifically is your customer, and how exactly are you going to win with them in a way that's so unique the competition isn't even in the same league? And here's a little secret. A great strategy, it actually starts by saying no a lot. Take a look at these words. Best, all, every, world-class. They sound amazing in a PowerPoint slide, right? But they're poison to real strategy. They're what I call strategy killers. If you're trying to be the best for everyone, you're actually being nothing special for anyone. Yup, it all comes down to making a choice. You can't be great at everything. To be unique, you have to pick your spot. You have to decide where you're going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, so fundamentally, there are really three paths you can take. First, you've got product leadership. Think Apple. Always having the best, coolest product. Second, there's operational efficiency. This is your Amazon, best price, unbelievable convenience. And third, you have customer intimacy. This is about knowing your customer better than anyone and providing the perfect total solution. Now here's the kicker. You can't be the master of all three. You have to choose one to be truly great at while just being competitive in the other two. So how do you actually make these tough choices? Well, this simple 5-question framework from Roger L. Martin is your roadmap. It's brilliant because it's a cascade. Each question flows into the next, connecting your big picture dream all the way down to what you need to do on Monday morning. Let's make this real with an example. All right, let's look at a real-world case study. A company called ABC Exports was facing a huge problem, and we're going to see exactly how they use this way of thinking to solve it. So, ABC Exports works in the yarn and fabric business. Now, they could have tried to sell to everybody, the entire global textile industry, but they didn't. They made that first crucial choice. Where will we play? And their answer was super specific. The knitwear market in Bangladesh. But wait, it gets even better. They didn't just say Bangladesh. They drilled down even further and identified exactly 50 fashion and casual wear companies to be their target customers. Not 500, not 5,000, just 50. Now that is what you call strategic focus. So when they looked at their situation with these 50 companies, the picture was interesting. They only had a tiny 2% market share. And get this, they were only capturing 10% of what those specific customers were spending on this stuff. We call that share of wallet. Now, you might look at that and think, wow, they're failing. But a strategist sees the opposite. They see a gigantic 88% opportunity just sitting there, waiting to be claimed, if they could figure out how to win. Okay, so the team got together and asked, what is the number one biggest headache for these 50 customers? They narrowed it down to two major pain points. First, the constant pressure to lower costs, no surprise there. But the second one was huge. Incredibly long delivery times. We're talking 30 to 60 days, an eternity in the fast fashion world. Both were real problems for sure, but which one was the golden opportunity? And this is where the magic happens. They had to decide which problem to solve. Not just solve, but solve in a way that was completely extraordinary. And they had a brilliant insight. They realized, everybody is fighting on price. That's the commodity game. But what if? What if they could radically, unbelievably solve the delivery time problem? That was the path to creating unique value nobody else could touch. This line of thinking didn't just lead to, a small tweak. It wasn't about shaving off a few days. No, it led to a goal so big, so out there, that when they first said it out loud, it must have sounded completely insane. So let's just be clear about the starting point. The industry standard was 60. 60 days. Think about that. 2 whole months just waiting for the raw materials you need to run your business. That was just normal. That was the pain their customers accepted every single day.
And ABC Exports decided, nah, we're not going to just chip away at that. We're not going to trim it. We're going to completely shatter it.
They took it from 60 days down to 6. 6 days. Let that sink in. 60 to 6. At the same price, with the same quality. This wasn't just a nice little improvement. This was a revolution. A total knockout punch designed to make those 50 target customers fall in love with them and never, ever look at another supplier again. I mean, can you even imagine the impact? It makes the competition completely irrelevant. Why on earth would you wait 2 months for something you can get in less than a week? See, this isn't about being a little bit better anymore. This is about changing the rules of the game entirely. And boom, this is where you see the power of that 5-question framework. It all clicks into place. What's our winning aspiration? Get more than 50% market share with our targets. Where to play? Those 50 firms. How to win? The 6-day delivery. And once you know that, the last 2 questions basically answer themselves. You know exactly what capabilities you need to build and what systems you have to put in place to pull it off. So, in the end, the story of ABC Exports is just a perfect illustration of what we're talking about. Strategy isn't one flash of genius. It's a chain, a system of choices that all lock together. It's about having the guts to focus and make a bold bet that creates an advantage nobody can easily copy. So, as we close this out, I want to leave you with a question for your own world. Every single industry, every business has a 60-day problem, some accepted, painful standard. The real question for you is, what's your 6-day challenge? What's that one audacious move you could make that would render your competition totally irrelevant? Finding the answer to that, well, that's what strategy is all about. Thanks for joining us.